Today, I want to talk to the person who knows exactly what they should do next, but they're scared. Honestly, I'm begging you to stop letting fear run your life. As a first generation leader, fear makes sense. At least to me, it did. We were raised to be careful, we were raised to protect what our parents worked for so hard. I get it. Many of us grew up watching sacrifice every single day. I still remember those days where my mom used to get home super tired from working two jobs. Our parents left countries. They worked multiple jobs. They lived through uncertainty so we could have opportunities they never had. And I remember conversations with my parents about this. So when it's time for us to take a risk, start a business, apply for the promotion, change careers, launch the podcast like I did, speak on stages that you've never been at, or pursue the dream God placed in your heart, fear always shows up. It does, because we're not just carrying our own expectations. We're not. We care deeply about people, our family, our parents. We're carrying the hopes of an entire family. Like the weight of an entire family sometimes is on our shoulders, and that's heavy. I know because as a first generation Latina, I've lived it. There have been moments in my life where I knew exactly what I needed to do, but I was terrified. Not because I thought I would fail. Honestly, that's not what scared me. I was afraid of disappointing people. I was afraid of disappointing my parents, my family members, my friends. I was afraid of making the wrong decision. I was afraid of letting down the people who believed in me up to this point. Like I was so grateful for those that believed in me and super scared to disappoint them. And if you're first generation, you probably understand that feeling if you were the first, right? Some of us were. Sometimes we don't fear failure. And I don't know if you can relate to this, but we fear being the person who wasted the opportunities our parents sacrificed for, our aunts and uncles sacrificed for. And so it's legacy to us. It's more than just one action. But I want to give you what I've learned in my experience. Fear is a terrible leader. Fear will convince you that staying stuck is safer than growing. Fear will convince you that waiting is wisdom. Like, oh, you're waiting and you're being wise. Fear will convince you that perfection is required before action because we want to do, as first generation leaders, we want to do everything perfect. And years can go by while you're waiting for certainty that was never promised. You're waiting to feel ready. You're waiting to feel confident. The biggest opportunities in my life came after seasons where I was deeply uncomfortable, like discomfort brought me to these amazing opportunities. Leaving what was familiar, starting over, the new, the scary, walking into rooms where I didn't know anyone, being on stages that were bigger than I ever thought, talking to thousands of people, taking roles I wasn't sure I was qualified for when I was younger, speaking when I felt insecure. Still remember when I was in front of like 800 women and grabbing the microphone and shaking, leading when I felt overwhelmed. None of those moments ever felt safe. But you know what? I did it scared. I did. I wish I could tell you I wasn't, but I was. Growth rarely feels safe. As first generation leaders, many of us have mastered survival. Like we're good at surviving, right? We know how to do it. We're resilient. We're hardworking. We know how to navigate nuances. We're resourceful. We help other people. But at some point, survival becomes a ceiling. At least it became that for me when I was younger. The skills that helped us make it through difficult seasons can become the very things that keep us from stepping into our next season. I can look back and think of the moments that I let fear control what I was supposed to be doing. Fear and survival say, protect yourself. Purpose says, trust God and move. And maybe that's what you need to hear today. Maybe the thing you've been praying about, thinking about, and talking about, or talking yourself out of, isn't what you're supposed to avoid. Maybe it's something you're supposed to walk toward scared. Maybe you've been thinking about this dream, this idea, this change, and you're not doing it because you're scared. I want to tell you today, do it even if you're scared. Do it especially if you're scared, because courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is deciding that what matters on the other side of fear is worth more than your comfort. And if you're a person of faith, remember this: God never asked you to have all the answers. And honestly, I don't think you ever will. He asked you to take the next step, not the next 10, the next one. So today, I'm begging you, apply for the job, go on that stage, start that business, launch the podcast, move. Even if you're scared, write the book, have the conversation, because those moments of uncertainty are the moments that change your destiny. Do what you've been wanting to do, and do it scared. You have a voice, you have a dream, you have a calling. Move anyway, because the world doesn't need a less scared version of you. It needs the version of you that decided fear wasn't going to make the decisions anymore. It needs the version of you that moves anyway. Your parents didn't sacrifice so you could spend your life playing small, so you can be scared. And God didn't bring you this far just to leave you where you are. So I'm here to remind you, friends, do it scared, take the step, and trust that you'll become the person you need to be along the way, because you will. The life you're praying for may be on the other side of the thing you're most afraid to do. If you enjoyed this podcast and this episode, subscribe, share, and comment. Here, we talk about first-generation leadership and our wonderful stories that got us here. So thank you for being with me today. See you next time. Adios.